All right, this is Gene with Capital Chaos, and I'm here with Andy from Black Crown Initiate. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How about you?
Hanging in there, man. Another day in Metal Paradise.
Yeah.
So I know it's early in the tour, and you guys have only had San Diego and L.A., but how's the tour been so far?
Really good. Really good. Good turnouts, good crowds, good shows, good bands. It's been good so far. I think it's going to be a good one.
Awesome. Yeah, looks like a good run of dates. What are the pros and cons of coming across country all the way from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
And touring on a 26-city circuit. How's that? What's the pros and cons like?
Reading, Pennsylvania. But the pros, you get to play your music for people, which is kind of what we always set out to do or hope to do. So you get to live a dream in a way, I guess. But the cons, I mean, you don't really eat well or sleep well or shower well or see your loved ones but that's the way it goes, you know. More pros, you get to travel too, see all kinds of places. Going to Europe soon. So.
Are you going to Europe? When's those dates coming up?
September and October.
Awesome. Have you ever been before?
No.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big pro. What does the name Black Crown Initiate come from?
There's a Tibetan religious figure, well, spiritual leader, I guess you'd call it, in a certain denomination of Buddhism that wears a black crown to symbolize sort of like bearing light to humanity, right? And that's kind of a nice notion, but I think because I'm a Westerner, and I've said it before, but like we live in a pretty perverted society, especially. I mean, every society is problematic. Anywhere there's humans, you have problems. But like, I think in order to show people anything about themselves, you really have to show them how horrible they are, and how horrible I am. You know, and that's kind of where the name came from.
Gotcha. That's really cool. It's pretty heavy stuff there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What made you want to become a professional musician?
I love playing guitar. That's kind of what it was in the first place. Is I love playing guitar. Started writing songs, and it's really all I'm good at. So like I'm not really set out to work in a factory or something like that. I would get fired immediately or really injure myself very quickly.
Accident prone?
Oh, so bad. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I pretty much just have to do this.
Gotcha. Were you self-taught? Did you take lessons? A little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Yeah, I took some lessons, and but I mean I was self-taught at the beginning. I think most people are, but yeah, I took some lessons along the way. Took some lessons with a jazz player named Ken Garrett. That was my first teacher. He's a great player, and I still hang out with him. He's a great guy, old dude. Took some lessons with a keyboard player who plays in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra called Vitaly Kupri, and he taught me a lot about theory and stuff. Also how to drink and smoke profusely. So yeah, but a little bit of both.
Awesome, very cool. What are your musical influences? What'd you grow up listening to? What sparked the interest as far as being a musician goes?
Oh man, well, the first stuff I listened to was really like classic rock that my dad showed me, like Jimi Hendrix or Santana or whatever else. And from there I kind of got into like heavy metal, but I got into like Sabbath and Metallica, Sepultura, Slayer, stuff like that. But now I'm kind of all over the map. I don't really listen to too much heavy metal anymore. Listen to a lot of Sigur Rós. There's a band from Iceland. I like Cult of Luna a lot. I don't know if you'd call them metal or not, but you know,
it's in a genre somewhere down the line.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm all over the map now. But I started classic rock, heavy metal, you know.
And then it just evolved from there, right?
Yeah.
Now, what would you say the main style of Black Crown is?
I mean, I don't know. People call it progressive death metal, and I guess that's okay. That'll suffice, you know, because it's kind of we do whatever we want.
No, I noticed that from listening to you guys. It's really got a mashup of a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, every one of us is completely different musical tastes, so.
Oh, that's really cool, man. You got a new record coming out, and it's entitled "Selves We Cannot Forgive." Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And that comes out next week.
Yeah, July 22nd. I guess that's next Friday, I think.
Yeah, my birthday's the 21st, so the 22nd is Friday.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What is there any kind of subject matter you can tell the fans about before this record hits the streets? Anything that influenced the writing process?
Well, the writing process was kind of influenced by the fact that our old guitar player Rick quit. So things went back to the way they were when we did our EP, which is just me and our bass player sitting in a room writing music, which just turned out to be like more fun.
Okay.
So we had a good time writing that way. But I think lyrically it's a lot more personal of an album than I've done before. There's some stuff on there that like I wouldn't even really let anybody know what it's about, you know. That being said, there is, very, how would you say, like I'm very influenced by the world we live in, which is it's getting sicker every day. So there's that. The song For Red Cloud was influenced by the writings of a guy named John Trudell, who's a Native American who wrote a lot about, the obvious problems with the white occupation of Native people everywhere, but also like the subliminal and very like, the sort of self-enslavement, psychological enslavement of white people on themselves. And so that song's about that, and it's like, so there's really all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah, you had a new single actually come out today, right? If I saw that correctly. Yeah.
This came out today. That's the last song on the album. It's a really different one for us. Yeah, it's quiet, kind of, for the most part.
I hate to use the word beautiful, but it's kind of a beautiful song, you know. It's the music arrangement in it. It's completely different than what I expected to hear when I clicked on the play button.
Well, thanks, man. Beautiful's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I was looking at some of the comments. People seem to be absorbing it fairly well, and they're looking for more of the album, of course. You know.
Well, the new album. It's quite a varied musical experience, I guess. So every track you're gonna get something a little different, you know. And we set out to do that on purpose, you know. Yeah.
So you were on the Metal Alliance tour in 2015 and 2016. Is that correct? 14 as well. Excuse me. Any of those runs? Any stories? Anything stick out about being with some of those bands? You know.
Touring with Behemoth was our first tour ever, and that was amazing. Just witnessing. Like, that's like a real band, you know. It's like they don't mess around at all. Very professional, and just a great band. So that's something I think out of all of them, that's something that I'll always remember, is having my first tour getting to watch those dudes every night.
Now is there a downside as far as a band being that professional? Are they easy going when it's off stage or when their set's done?
Yeah. I think that there's really not a downside to it. It's sort of how you have to be eventually. You know, I'm kind of a goofball asshole, so like probably never be that way. But they show up and they do their job, and afterwards they all hang out and do their own thing. And but yeah, they're very nice dudes too. Cool. Very fair. Yeah.
So like we mentioned before, we got 26 stops on this, and you said you do have plans to go to Europe in September, October. All right. Is that your headlining tour, or are you opening your support for somebody?
For Volumes, Veil of Maya, and Born of Osiris.
Wow, what a lineup.
Yeah. So that should be good. We're going like everywhere in Europe.
Wow. That's pretty exciting stuff right there, man.
Good.
And just in time for a new album and get it out there and get it in front of everybody, right?
Yeah. That's when you got to tour. When you put out a new album, you keep touring.
Right. And when you're not making music or songwriting, recording, or whatever, what do you do with your free time?
Hang out with my dog and my girlfriend and watch Netflix and play guitar. Teach guitar. A lot of guitar, yeah. Okay. That's pretty much it. I like beer. I like to drink.
All right. Any particular brands of beer?
Oh, all kinds of beer. Alcohol in general is something that I quite enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing springs to mind, like if you had to go out to the bar right now and order something, no favorite?
We're going to Russian River tomorrow, and that's going to be real sick. Right. Yeah.
Hey, a beer drinking day?
Yeah, we have off.
Oh, beautiful.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Good for you, man. And do you have any tips or advice for aspiring bands?
Do exactly what you want to do. Always work hard, practice your instrument, and play exactly the music that you want to play. Don't waste your time playing other people's music that you aren't interested in just so you can get out there and play. Although live experience is important, play what you want.
Stay true to yourself then, right?
Yep. That would be the biggest piece of advice. And butt wipes.
Butt wipes. A must, I'm understanding, for the road and the ventures, right?
Big time. Big time.